You're not really benefiting anything from that.
That's true.
So I mean, I am satisfied that the people of Dominica are making use of that resource. And of course, if there's opportunity for export and taking it to the next level, no problem. But you cannot have a conversation now and you're trying to omit infrastructural development like your international airport. How you can have a conversation about the economy and moving forward and you're not talking about the international airport? You're not talking about the geothermal project that is on stream. You're not talking about the cable car that will help to bring tourists to the country. You're not talking about those things.
Yeah.
You're not talking about nothing that will help to transform the economy. You're looking for a window. So you fall on water. My God, water.
I mean, the man spent his, after a serious budget presentation as what we have heard, comprehensive. I mean, every single area was touched in that budget.
Every single area.
What the government intend to do for health, what it intend to do for agriculture, the incentives that the government has placed forward for all of those different areas, which we will go into greater detail as we broaden the discussion moving into the coming weeks. I mean, this is what these guys are able to come and give a rebuttal on, and to talk about the fact that the Prime Minister has invited Palestinians as, to come in to Dominica, those who want to come, and those, what struck me was I listened to Sheridan Gregoire and others trying to criticize the Prime Minister for inviting Palestinians to come here if they're willing to come, that Dominica is open to them, like we are opening to other countries. While they're trying to criticize the Prime Minister, they themselves not in Dominica,
No, they're not here.
They've been years living in Canada and other countries, spending their time there, but talking on social media, and criticizing us for inviting our political leader from inviting people, because Dominica population needs to increase. This is something that the Prime Minister has said repeatedly, and we have to find a way to open up if we want to expand. And when you move to many of the other islands, I mean, you see how different people from different nationalities, the great United States, as great as it is, how many nationalities in there, but they don't turn away Palestinians or Israel people or these people or that people. They have all of these nationalities as part of their economy. They're all contributing in one way or another. But their takeaway from that, and whatever it is that they're saying that they would do differently, it's all about the whole water business, and then the other thing has to do with the cutting of VAT, the cutting of taxes, duty-free concessions. And when the UWP was there, they gave duty-free. When the UWP was there, they gave duty-free concession. I remember when they gave the concession back in 1999. But the reality is, yes, I will say safely that a lot of the merchants benefited from that policy. But the ordinary average man that couldn't import a container load of raw material, who had to still go and buy it on the shelf, largely paid high prices for the raw material that they paid. So the poor people that they like to talk about poor really did not really enjoy the true benefit of those concessions. And rather, what those concessions did, I can tell you, during that year, was to cut the revenue stream that was coming into the treasury. And as a result of that, Carissa, that helped to contribute to the misery that public officers and many of the people who relied on government for payment in the private sector, because if you have to come into a system of governance and the first thing you do without even careful thought of anything at all, you are just there focusing on, cutting this, cutting that, cutting this, then clearly these guys are not ready. And what was more classical to me was, with all the talk you hear in there, they have not planned nothing yet. Fontaine is saying that they cannot tell people what they would cut or how far they would cut or what they would do, but they are promising. So it's almost like Clinton coming in again in one of the elections there and saying that we'll give everybody $25,000 at when we win, every household will get $25,000. Now the people of Dominica was foolish, and they were not bright people as I know them to be. They would have think that they would have get, but when these guys would have get in there, you would not see any 25,000 because it was not practical. You see, and so we Labour Party policies that it is presenting are policies that that you can clearly see that is workable. So when this government tell you it is doing geothermal, it know where the money is going to come from. The government knows how it's going to attract the fund. The sources of revenue that will come in to be able to fund the geothermal project. That's why it's becoming a reality. You talk about the airport, the government talking about where its money is coming from. The CBI program, the hard work that has to go into raising the money outside there, but the government is doing it, making it happen. I was reading something today where the marina will be moving into phase 2, and the project is continuing. This is millions of dollars, but the government didn't go there and break ground and not know where the money is going to be raised in order to build the marina. The government is aware of where it's getting the money. And we have friendly governments who obviously our Prime Minister has developed extremely good relationship with over the years, who come to the aid of Dominica, wherever he requests and the need may be, we get it. We see the World Bank, the EU, we see every institution in the world on board with Dominica. This is not like in the days of the WP when the World Bank wasn't giving them no money again. And the very institutions that Sticky Finger talking about will not give, because when them people realize you mismanaging your economy, they're not going to give you their money.
That's right.
So I think that I have listened carefully to these guys and I have come to the conclusion that it's all talk. Because you see, talking, everybody have talk. Everybody can talk. Everybody can come and tell you what they can do. I want to build a big house. I want a plane in my yard. I want this, I want that. But at the end of the day, making it happen is where the proof, or they say, the meat in the pudding or whatever it is.
The proof for the pudding is in the eating.
Is in the eating.
The proof for the pudding. But Simeon, coming back to this statement that the Prime Minister made in terms of inviting the Palestinian. I mean, sometimes when you make those kinds of progressive suggestions, some people, they laugh after it and they look at it as, hey, you're not ready yet, and why is that you want to do? But I remember when the Prime Minister made a comment as it relates to eradicating pit toilet.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that.
Of course I remember.
I mean, people took it as a big joke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fellas made Calypso, and then later on when they realized, hey, the Prime Minister talking sense, they came back and apologized in another Calypso.
Right.
I remember those days.
Yeah, the guy said...
And I will tell you further that after the Prime Minister made that comment, the world was listening. Hence the reason why it is part of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. If you look at the different goals, it is part of it, because people realize that is something that we have to do in terms of sanitation and everything else. And so sometimes when the Prime Minister makes it come, something that he doesn't think about.
Yeah.
He has given it enough thought. Hence the reason why he's putting it out there, at least so we can have some public discussion.
Right.
At the end of the day, the people have to make the decision. But the idea is out there, and I think it's a progressive move. We have always been saying that we need to overhaul our immigration laws and rules in this country. We don't have people here.
My brother, and that is why the Prime Minister is sending the call that we have to understand that, other people from the neighboring islands will come here and work. And that's why tonight we will spend time about 9:15 when the Prime Minister will join us to expand on the discussion he was having in the Parliament in relation to the impact of the major capital investment that this government is putting in place in this country, and the impact that it's having on jobs. And, and the fact that there are savings in the bank, where this money is coming from, it's because of the people who are working. So tonight we will examine these things further and to bring what is a practical and a realistic plan before the people of this country. But it is clear in my mind that the opposition UWP, is out of ideas. I mean, the other thing that caught my attention is when I listened to a Sticky Finger saying that, he wants to give everybody in Dominica a comfortable salary so that, they are free for children. Everybody can take care of their children, take care of the thing, and so forth. So it's like nobody will have no problem. And when I hear him say that, what's caught my mind? This man was working for according to Mommy, 10,000 US in the IMF, according to him. He was working. How comes he never managed none of those money there for him to be able to comfortably take care of his family and take care of himself? I mean, instead he ran around the place with how many lawsuits all over the place. Everybody chasing him for $800 in the great United States.
$800.
Where you are $800 lawsuit against you in a court. You can't pay no credit cards. You can't pay nothing. Everything is lawsuit by the. Even in Dominica where the man come, where he claimed that he want to see everybody have a house and have a piece of land and have something of their own. He couldn't even have something of his own. He had to end up putting a piece of land in his name that belonged to the dance that was gifted to them. And I'm saying to myself, boy, this man is all talk. Because it's hot air blowing out there. He have ideas in his head, he have things in his head he talk about. The man can't really make nothing happen. You see, at the end of the day, you can tell the banana tree is a good banana tree when you see the kind of bunch of banana the thing behind, and you go, that's so bell fig. We got so, more. Sometimes when you taste the banana, you say, boy, that fig they're tasting good. It's soft and nice. You have something like that, and that's a good. You say, boy, I want a plant from that banana because you expect that you're gonna get a. Tom says not like that. That's a banana that's rotten already. There's nothing good about it. So the man idea about fixing Dominica with water and just giving tax concession left, right, and center is a recipe for disaster. Because I've been around the reform that this government had to undergo under the IMF in the early years of the Labour Party, where we lost 2 prime ministers that brought us to Prime Minister's Carrot. And I have seen the tremendous work that this government had to involve in civil society, all various cross sectors. Mr. Swinburne Lestrade had to be brought in to help with the whole reform that had to take place in reforming this tax system to bring it to a point where it would be manageable, where it is workable, where central government would not have to find itself in the situation that the UWP brought it into, where, LPOs could not be paid, salaries could not be paid. I mean, we have a list of things that could not be paid, or the government just couldn't pay at all, couldn't manage it, debt could not pay. And the country was suffering, the people was suffering, and having gone through this reform, we have went for over 20 years now. In the 25 years, since the Labour Party came in under Prime Minister's Carrot, taking over from 2004, 2005, to where we are today, this government has not gone under an IMF program. And there is a good reason why we have not gone under an IMF program. It's because the government is prudent in the management of the economy.
Excellent.
The government, yes, you can say you want to give things. But when you give in all the money that come in to pay your bills and to manage the country, when you give it away, where are you going to get the money to pay those things? Where is it going to come from? And that is a side that Sticky Finger and the others not telling us. That we will get rid of VAT. Every time you hear about VAT, you hear in VAT breeding generating more money than the government expected. There is a good reason why VAT is generating more money than the government expected, because the economy is doing better. Right. Because there is, according to our friend Clarence, who put it well for us, we have almost $2 billion in circulation within the local economy, even if the population remains small. That is helping to stimulate things, across the country. But if you come and you say you go in and the IMF will tell you don't interfere in that. If I myself have read how many IMF reports in the past 20-something years, and if you as a government going to interfere with a system that is managing well, the IMF will caution you. In the same way they cautioned UWP when the UWP was going to take that loan in Trinidad at a high interest rate, using the royalties of Cable and Wireless and Domlec and those companies that was coming into the treasury to help with the recurrent expenditure, to go into the so-called fund, to go and interfere in the Social Security pension fund, and to take money from that to under the premise of fund. So as important as an international airport was, and every single person in this country accept that we needed an international airport, but the IMF was telling them the way they were going about it was wrong.
That's right.
And then they forewarned them in advance by telling them that if they move forward with the plan as they were going ahead, that it would bring serious difficulty and hardship on the citizens of this country. And we live to see today that the people of Dominica went through serious difficulty and hardship simply because of the mismanagement. They did not take the advice given to them by the IMF. So obviously, Sticky Finger may have worked at the IMF. But his recipe that he come in with to Dominicans about saving Dominica is clearly a man who is in desperate need for a job. Himself is in desperate need for a job because, as you know, Thompson Fontaine might have a PhD and he might have a doctorate behind his name, but he can't apply for the manager of none of those banks in Dominica. You can't apply for none of those jobs because why? Because of the character of the person and his history. You know, obviously, he has to go in South Sudan and maybe Bangladesh and far places where maybe people don't really know Thompson that well, where he will maybe get some kind of employment. But outside of that, the man character is one that, you know, have a big question mark on it as to his skills and ability to manage and to manage simple things like his own personal finances in a way that would prove that he is capable of extending it to the country in general. And I always think of the fact that we had a lot of successful businessmen who took over the management of this country once upon a time. There was people like Julius Timothy, you know, Norris Prevost, Edison James, who was big manager, qualified, big degrees. By there, you had a lot of businessmen who came in who tell us at the time that because they were successful businessmen, they could come and fix Dominica. And they could make Dominica a successful place. Rather, what we saw, even under the brilliantness of all of those businessmen who were running their private sector businesses successfully at the time, that when they took over the running of the country, it was a whole different ballgame. And they struggled.
Yes, Simeon, I mean, you're correct. I mean, our Prime Minister always said to us that we ought to be responsive. We are responsive to the needs of the people, but at the same time, we must remain responsible. And some of the ideas that I'm hearing on the other side are ideas that will lead us into problems, economic problem, my brother. And you cannot just come out there and just fraud figures. Talk about a $12, how you call it, $12 minimum wage, and just fraud figures before doing the proper research, before doing the proper analysis, to be able to come to a reasonable, to come to some reasonable grounds.
Yes.
And that is what we hearing on the other side. It's just figures throwing all over there. It's it's like the leadership is now in a state of bazoodiness. The bazoodi.
Yep.
And I think it's the budget. I think the budget was so well put together that these guys cannot say anything to make sense at this time as it relates to the budget.
Yes.
Cannot.
Yes.
And that's why I continue to really commend our Prime Minister and the entire cabinet and the senators on the Dominican Labour Party side for doing a brilliant job. And right now, what we are looking forward to now is the level of implementation.
Yes.
Mark you, most of those projects are already ongoing. So it's not a situation where we're going to start new. They have already done all the, in some cases, all the preparatory work has already been done. In some other cases, they are work that is already on the ground. People are employed. The international airport, over 300 people employed. The cable car, over 200 and how many people employed. People are working. So it's not a situation where we just put in figures there. And of course, later on, the Prime Minister will talk about the number of jobs that we expect to generate over a 4-year period just from some of those infrastructural projects.
Yeah, when I listened to the Prime Minister in Parliament and he gave that report, the way he went way back to really give Dominicans a good understanding of, you know, what transpired back then under the Prime Minister spoke about many things, but some of the things where he gave examples and real data, you know, raw data that you could rely on.
That's right.
Not just coming and speaking off his head and saying things he wants to do or promising. No, but speaking about things that are realistic, practical, happening, and the evidence, look it there to show that that's what existed then. This is what existed today, and this is where we are now.
That's right.
You know, and none of them cannot debate that. You know, they cannot debate those facts. So that is why now they are turning to this foolishness about trying to give people the impression, every country have a tax system. Look at the United States. United States is busy passing tariff, 15% tariff by the 35% tariff by the all kind of what do you call that? It's a tax. But they are doing it anyway. At the end of the day, here in Dominica, you don't have all these taxes going on. Instead, what you have had is a reduction in taxes.
All the time.
So while the government has increased VAT, yes, put VAT in place, but it has reduced personal income tax, increased the tax threshold, you know, and give incentives to people across the board.
That's right.
To make sure that people can be progressive and getting involved in building Dominica's economy. And so I found that the DWP is very weak. They continue to be very weak. Thompson Fontaine comes with pretend to be smart with his talk because he's been an economist for much years. He worked there, and he's trying to bring that in as if, well, you know, he can come there and sit down in the prime minister chair. And all of a sudden, everybody in Dominica, you know, have things good. You know, you don't have to worry again. You're busy. A man that can fix nothing of his own. I dare Thompson to tell us what is his net worth today. What is it he has achieved in his years of working overseas, making all of the dollars he claimed to have made? What is it that he can show for it today? He cannot tell us. I can't even see what the man owned. You know, the only thing the man had in his possession was a piece of land, as I said, and he said he wanted it for sentimental reasons because of his father. It was his father own, you know, but he wanted. That's the only thing the man ever had, and he still knows it. He caused the credit union to have to repossess the property because of his failure to act. And today, here you have the DLP, who is giving, you know, who in my opinion, as I said, has delivered over the many years, continue to deliver, and presented this year what I will consider to be a well thought of budget. Not talking about something you go in and do and you have not sat down and figure out how you can do it, you know. So I am telling you, Carissa, I will remove all tax. Give you tax there, but then I turn around and tell you in the same talk, well, you know, as you know, I have to run the country, so I cannot tell you what tax I will take out now. But I promising you, I promising you I will do it, you know, but I can't tell you what I'm going to do for you. So what am I promising you? So I say, oh, you know that thing they call Diabasak? When a man give you a bag of stones to carry, boy, it's something else you're supposed to be have, something valuable, but it's a bag of stones you find out you have. Boy, let me tell you something.
But comrade, I mean, the thing is that they should be able to tell us something because all the data is out there. I mean, all the information is out there in terms of the figures. You can go to IMF report, your World Bank report, so you have information that you can come and say, well, hey, present an alternative.
Yes,
but
yes.
you come in and you're trying to give the impression that you'll take out there, you will add salary, but you can't give a figure.
You can't give nothing, man. I noticed that our tech has set up something on the Next Level Entertainment Public. I guess a few people are logging in there. So for those of you on social media, it seems like our usual live we have where you can view us and follow us is not working somehow. I don't know what the devil is trying, but the tech seem to get something going there. And so I notice a few people are connecting to it. So for those of you who are following on social media, you can still, you know, follow the Kyrie FM page, and you can get into that connection. But talking about that, as we before, just BPM will be joining us shortly. But I noticed that Fete Penville coming up. Boy, let me tell you something.
Fete Penville is like the next Creole Music Festival, you know.
Anyway, big up to Fete Penville. I tell you, that happened. That's a big event there, and I suspect Penville it would have space for people to stay because it's a lot of artists. Big event coming up on August 15th. And so big up to the party leader there, and you know, fun, and big up there for all the organizers, and you know, when I actually counted the number of artists, you know, when I saw the page for Fete Penville, and I say, boy, Dominica have musicians, eh? You know, we have a lot of upcoming musicians and various artists that are getting involved in the music business, and as you know, this government is about encouraging them and giving them the strength, you know, to really excel in these areas. And I'm happy to see that the Prime Minister, you know, has put so many of our local artists, they're all local people, on the agenda for Penville. So we have the Prime Minister on the line there with us there. Good evening to you, PM. Good evening, welcome.
Well, good evening, Simeon, Carissa, and all of the listeners to the Next Level program. It's always a pleasure to listen, and even more so to participate. I think all of you have been doing a real fantastic job in informing and educating the population on matters happening in the country. And so we're very grateful for your national public service. I want to also greet all of your listeners, and I want to greet the folks in my constituency in particular. And I want to have a special shout out to the Salibia constituency. And I'm hoping later this month to come visit them in the Salibia constituency. I'm happy to be here, Simeon.
Yes.
I do not intend on manipulating your program tonight, so I'm hoping that I can stay on for no more than 45 minutes.
Well, you're always welcome with us, as long as you know, whenever you come here, you can't leave us like that. But we want to welcome you, and it's a pleasure to have you on with us again tonight. Of course, coming from what was a massive budget presentation by the Minister of Finance and yourself as Prime Minister and political leader, presentation in the Parliament, you know, something that is echoing right across the island. You know, people are talking about it. You know, I think that this time around, you know, Dominicans are quite happy with what this government are presenting. And tonight we will spend more time talking about that. You know, I saw you gave quite a bit of information in the Parliament with regard to jobs and the creation of jobs. You spoke also of interest rate on loans and so on. I think quite a bit of information, Prime Minister.
Yeah. Quite a bit of information. Obviously, the theme for this year's budget is balancing resilient development and fiscal discipline for sustainable growth. And I want to stress on the words fiscal discipline, because these words are very crucial in anything you do, whether it's at the domestic level, whether it's at the business level, and more so at a national level, a government level, that you have to be careful about taking and making reckless decisions that could have long-lasting impact on the way of life of the society, because whatever the government does will end up affecting everyone. So if the government is unable to pay its bills, it is very likely that the rest of us will have difficulty in paying our bills. And if the government goes ahead and it behaves in a fiscally ill-disciplined manner, irresponsible manner, then that can have a domino effect on things. That you will take away your revenue, and when you take away your revenue, then you will have difficulty in meeting the needs of the society, in addressing the social condition of people, and also advancing the growth and development that are needed for job creation and wealth accumulation and a greater sense of prosperity and standard of living for all of our citizens. So this theme was very appropriate. And I also agree with you, listening to the Dominican population across political lines, people were pleasantly surprised the extent to which we went in this budget. Because every human beings, I always say, are reasonable creatures.
Yeah.
They understand. They may say things something that don't sound reasonable, but by and large, human beings are reasonable creatures.
That's right.
You explain to them, they understand. So people know that there are difficulties in the world. People know that there are uncertainties in the world. You know, and people know that there has been an increase in natural disasters affecting our country, and we're in the middle of a hurricane season. Plus you have the geopolitics, plus you have these wars and conflicts across the world, all of which are affecting us. So people know that, and people have families in the United States, they have family in Europe, they have family in Caribbean countries. So people understand. You know, I give it to the Dominican people that they understand and appreciate the challenges which this government has to face, and what the government is doing. So it really took people by surprise to the extent to which we went. It's a budget that has given a renewed sense of hope and confidence in our people, and really continue on the path of sustainable development, all an effort towards the creation of more jobs, more sustainable jobs for people, because we want to ensure that everybody who wants a job can get a job, and that people can have decent pay, and they can live a better quality of life, a better standard of living. And that's what we're working towards. we where we wish to get to? Not yet. And you will never not have challenges to deal with until you're dead.
Right.
Until the Lord comes to judge living and the dead, we will go to heaven, and there'll be no more sorrow, no more pain, no more any challenges. We'll just be living in total tranquility and in a utopian environment.
No, I like the topic, particularly the headline word you use, the fiscal discipline PM. Yeah, I think that is very important that we speak to the citizens about that, because there are those out there who are making a lot of promises that can bring this country into a crisis point. Yes.
I think the Dominican population has come to a point of a level of enlightenment that I do not think that politicians can trick them anymore. You understand? If you come to tell Dominicans about some things that don't make sense, they will know they don't make sense. And I think the whole idea of putting things out there and to make them sound exciting and hoping that they can turn into votes, that is really something of the past. I think in our world today, if all of the challenges that we have had to face and we continue to face and that are on the horizon, I think citizens and residents of our country in our world region want to see responsible leadership at play. They want to see a leader and a government that take the people seriously and take the governance of the country seriously. And therefore, your policy offerings, your fiscal policies must make sense. If you decide that you're going to take this tax out and so forth, and you take your revenue out of your hands of the government, then for you to balance the books, right? For you not to go down the route of an IMF program, you also have to cut equal to what you're giving up. So if you're giving up $350 million in revenue, then you have to cut $350 million in expenditure. You understand?
Right.
And so you now have to start with what you call the policy initiatives. What are policy initiatives? Policy initiatives are things that you do not have a legal obligation to provide the citizens of the country. It is based on the ideological thinking of the government, the level of empathy that the government has towards its people. Those kinds of programs are developed, whether it's the History Care program, whether it's the allowance for people 65 and over, whether it's free medical care for people 60 and over and 18 and younger, whether it's free college tuition, whether it's scholarships to go to study at universities, whether it's a free transportation for students attending secondary school, whether it's free books and uniform for students attending secondary school and primary school, whether it is the National Employment Program, whether it's a small business unit, whether it's a support to farmers by way of cash and grants. So these are all policy initiatives. You don't must do it, whether it's fixing your house or building your toilet or building a house for you and giving you a house. These are not government obligations. These things have been developed because of the philosophical and ideological basis and foundation of the party and leadership of the country. If you do not have those qualities, then you're going to have a problem. And then once you get to the policy initiatives in terms of the cuts in expenditure, you don't have to go to the legal obligations. No, you cannot not pay your debt.
Right.
Because if you owe the World Bank and the IMF and the CDB, and you default on paying your debt, then you go to an IMF program automatically. There's no question about it. And so you have to now cut on your wage bill, and that's where people have to go home.
Right.
You make people redundant. You make people lose their jobs because you can no longer afford to pay them. And so we have to be very careful that we do not, in an effort towards, as citizens, maybe want our life to get better than how it is now, that we rush to the gate to accept what they call a diabasak.
Yes. Yes. That's what it is.
And then when you go home with the diabasak, then the diab start beating you up and riding you all day and night.
Yes.
And your life become miserable. And so it is important that people recognize that. Now,
Yes.
when you look at the budget, Simeon,
Yes.
and you go through the budget, and the foundation that we're setting, the investments that we're making in this economy is extraordinary. You understand? Extraordinary. And based on our very conservative figures, because we don't want to come here and give nobody no kind of figure that don't make sense.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? We will give you figures that we can stand by. And so this budget in the next 4 years is laying the foundation for the next 4 years to create about 4,000 jobs. And in my contribution to the budget debate,
Yes.
I went ahead and I told you exactly where those jobs are going to come from in terms of the sustainable jobs. I'm not talking about jobs during construction.
All right.
I'm talking about the jobs that these projects will create over the next 4 years in a sustainable way. I mean, the international airport alone will create 450 jobs. You understand? The cable car, 200. The Ports of Marina will create 70 jobs. Geothermal, 120. Steel tourism, 250. Cruise tourism, 200. You understand? You go to agriculture, 1,200 based on investments that we're making in agriculture. Manufacturing, 200. Infrastructure, roads, 200. Infrastructure, housing, 250. Infrastructure, education, 75. Infrastructure, health, 50. The film industry, 300. You talk about steel tourism and digital services at 300. Retail at 150. Other services at 242. Creating over 200 jobs in the economy of Dominica. And so this is what we're doing.
All right.
I hit you. And so when you go for this is the kinds of things that we're doing to create sustainable job opportunities for people. Because we want to ensure that every person, because you see, you can only consider yourself to be unemployed if you have shown evidence that you're actively looking for a job.
All right.
So if you're at home and you're not interested in working, you're not unemployed. You understand? You have to be actively looking for work to be considered to be unemployed. And so anybody who's actively looking for a job, then that is what we're seeking to do, to ensure that there's a job that person can certainly take on.
Now, I was about to tell you, as you talk about that reminds me of when you had challenged Senator Parrish in the Parliament, that if he knows of any engineer, of any person who's unemployed, let you know.
Let us know, because the reality is, I keep telling you, you're a businessman.
Yes.
I meet all the businessmen every single day. People in construction, people in retail, people in the hotel industry, people in tourism services, and everybody's telling me that they want workers.
Yes.
They need it. They're looking for people.
It's a fact.
But I'm saying to them, why are you telling me that? Why don't you go on the radio? Why don't you go on Facebook, where you guys all are, and tell people you're looking for workers?
Right.
Because the notion, the view that the majority of Dominicans have, rightly or wrongly, is that there's no work. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not correcting the narrative.
Yes.
And say that's not true. Yes, we're not at zero unemployment yet, but we, as private sector people, can't get people to work, and that's a challenge that many people have. And so this is what we do now. See, what we have been able to do over the years, and which I reminded the country of during my budget contribution, is the manner in which we have gone about in ensuring that the working people of Dominica are able to keep more of their money in their pockets, and through the process of having reform of the income tax system in Dominica, and so this is what we have done, but we have done so mindful of our commitment to fiscal responsibility in managing the resources of the state, so that we do not cause ourselves to get into any danger zone, a danger zone of reckless spending and the destruction of the sources of public revenue. So we've been very careful with this. And so what we've done over the years is to have a reform of the income tax system. And I gave some scenarios as to how we have made the dramatic changes to the income tax regime. And my hope, Simeon, Harrison, my hope is that at one point in our history, hopefully sooner rather than later, we will be in a position where we can eliminate completely the issue of income tax in Dominica, and allow people to allow citizens to go with all the money that they make it. But I want people to remember that when we came into government in 2000, people were burdened with a 40% income tax rate.
Yes.
Our income tax was high as 40%.
And that's
With only 12,000, threshold. You understand? Only a 12,000 threshold. And so we were able to change this dramatically when we came into government in 2000. We changed this. Now, and even people who were pensioners were being taxed.
wow.
It took me some time. It took me up until 2008 because I never really paid attention to the pensioners because I said these people no longer work. They don't pay any taxes. So when I studied the law carefully, I realized that they were paying taxes. So I called the finance secretary. Said, why are we charging? Why are we taxing the senior citizens? Why are you taxing pensioners?
Wow.
And then we went to Parliament and we removed income tax entirely. I remember the people in the Ministry of Finance telling me, Prime Minister, maybe those who are making 4,000, 3,000, 5,000 income tax, we can let them pay something. I said, nothing doing. I said, it doesn't matter what the person is getting as way of their pension, they should pay no tax in Dominica. These people have worked for the country, they have made their contribution, and I believe that it's only fair to them in their retirement years, in their sunset years, that they're able to enjoy their tax-free savings that they've made all of these years working under trying and difficult circumstances. So since 2008, the pensioners have not been paying income tax. But prior to that,
Right.
they were paying income tax.
Right.
And I reminded the Parliament, and Simon, feel free to jump in to ask me any questions.
Yeah,
So
no
we have
problem. Go right ahead. I'm just following you for now.
So let's give you some scenarios, for example, Simeon
Yes.
and Karen. In 2000, for example, I said income tax on a monthly salary of $2,500 was $300. That's what people were paying in 2000 on a salary of $2,500, $300. In 2025, it is down to zero.
Wow.
So there is no income tax on salaries of $2,500 or less in Dominic. In 2000, income tax on a monthly salary of $3,000 was $450. In 2025, it is down to $75.
Wow.
In 2000, income tax on a monthly salary of $6,000 was you paying into 2000 $1,450 in income tax. Okay, $1,450 in income tax in 2000. In 2025, it is down to $708. $708. Okay, it is down to. So these are the kinds of changes that we made to the taxing. So, for example, somebody who was earning $6,000 salary in the last 10 years of the person's wage, and I'm not going back to 2000,
Right.
I'm just saying in the last 10 years,
Right.
all right? In the last 10 years of the person's wage, we were able to allow that person to keep over $120,000 of income in their pockets,
Right.
because of the changes we made to the income tax, income tax rates and legislation. So in the last 10 years, somebody, if we did not make those changes, that person would have paid in the last 10 years over $120,000.
Wow.
In
Yes.
over $120,000 in income tax. But because we have reduced the income tax paid from $1,450 to $708.25 in the last 10 years, we allow that person to keep $120,000
Wow.
in their pockets. Can you imagine what $120,000 is?
Yeah. I mean, that's
That's significant.
That's a game
And then you
changer.
go on. In 2000, the annual mortgage interest allowance for personal income tax calculations was 12,000. In 2025, it is up to 30,000. 30,000.
So let's understand that, PM. You while you have increased the income tax threshold, you also reduce on the percentage that
You usually rates on the
rates.
bands, right? So the highest band now is 55% in Dominica. Okay, we reduce the bands, the rates, and we also increase the threshold. And we've gone beyond that. We also increase now the personal income mortgage interest rate allowance for personal income tax calculations from 12,000 in 2000 to 30,000 in 2025. So the increase, the $18,000 increase in the mortgage interest allowance means that employees with that benefit earning monthly salaries of 6,000, who would have paid $975 per month in income tax in 2000, are only paying $150 per month. So that person earning $6,000 would have paid $975 per month in income tax in 2000.
Right.
And that person is only paying $150 per month in 2025.
Jeez. Oh.
And so if you were to add, if the person has insurance, because you also have deductions for health insurance, and you also have deductions for a student loan.
Right.
So if perchance that person has a mortgage, then that person has health insurance, and that person still have a student loan, that person who's earning $6,000 in Dominica today would really be only paying about $30 in taxes.
Wow.
When you deal with all of the deductions.
Wow.
Yes.
So over the years, what we have done is to ensure that people have more of their money.
Right.
And so this is why the economy has been less reliant on revenues from income tax now than it was in 2000. Because less people are paying tax, and those of us who pay are paying less in 2025 than we were in 2000. And this is, we believe that this is a progressive way of going about having tax reform and giving relief to our people.
Right.
By ensuring that our people have more disposable income in their wallets, in their purses, in their pockets, so they can be able to spend as they wish to improve their lives and to live more comfortable lives as citizens of our country, as working people. And this is what we're doing. And there's a commitment on the part of the government to continue with that arrangement, where we systematically keep on reducing the income tax rates, increasing the income tax threshold, with eventually eliminating income tax altogether. Now, if you're going to eliminate income tax and you're making X million every year, then you have to find a way of balancing so that you don't create a problem by trying to solve one.
Right. Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And this is what you have to be careful about. This is where the fiscal responsibilities come about. This is why you have to avoid reckless suggestions, reckless prescriptions, and ensure that what you're proposing to the country is sensible, is reasonable, is practical, it is prudent, and it is in the overall best interest of the citizens, and not in an effort to make yourself appear to be more politically attractive than you would otherwise have been if you did not make those outlandish commitments to them. And so what I promise Dominican people is that I will always try to be responsive to the needs, as we've done in a number of areas. We have gone on uncharted waters in Dominica in terms of reaching out to our people. You understand?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can give them a firm commitment. We will not propose prescriptions that we know will cause harm to them down the road. Because the last thing any one of us want in this country is for us to go back to an IMF program.
Yeah.
This is painful. It affects every single citizen, and it is something that we need to avoid at all costs. And so even when we sometimes our revenues are not coming to the level that it's supposed to be in 1 or 2 months, then we do some cuts. We do cuts that don't affect the way of life of the citizens.
Right.
We cut on discretionary spending, on travel, on traveling, on electricity, on telephone. You understand? Those kinds of things. We reduce on some of the goods that we normally would buy and buy less. You know, and eliminate wastage. You know, so we do things, but not things that will affect the senior citizens. Nothing that will affect the SUK program, nothing that will affect our ability to pay the school buses to carry our children to school, nothing that will affect our ability to pay the $10 million to the college that we pay, almost $10 million we pay to run the college every year. Those kinds of things we want to ensure that we're always in a position to provide for people.
No, Prime Minister, coming from, since you took over back in 2004, 2005, have had the experience to, even from when you came in 2000, to go through the initial stage of the stabilization program and to understand what reform is all about. So I know you are very experienced over the years where that is concerned. And so when you talk about, when you hear the talk about wanting or reforming the tax system in Dominica, the Labour Party have actually done that already, or is doing that as we go along?
You have to do it in a prudent manner. You have to do it in a responsible manner. So we're doing this. We're doing this, and then we have every opportunity we get, we're reducing the burden on people.
Yeah.
But also the other ways that we reduce the burden on people is by making the ability to earn property, to build a home, to go to school, to get a degree, to get a skill, making it more accessible and more affordable to them. And this is why, Simeon, we have gone into the issue of the mortgages at 2%. And you recall that the first time Dominicans enjoyed a 4 and a 5% interest rate on a mortgage is when we came to government and when we launched the housing revolution.
That's a fact.
And we were able to cause people, public officers and private sector employees in the country, to access loans at 4% and 5%. Prior to that, it was 11, 12, 10% you were getting for mortgage in Dominica. And so we forced the banks and the credit unions to consider lower interest rates. So if any Dominican is enjoying a lower interest rate at the banks and the credit today, you must give the government of Dominica, this Labour Party administration, the credit for the policies and the initiatives and the programs that it has been able to implement in the country to cause the market and the environment to change and adapt as well. And so this is what we're able to do. And so in this budget, we've even gone further to allow for a 2% interest loan. 2% interest loan with a 6 months grace period. There is no bank, there's no credit union, there's no financial institution that gives you any grace period for the payment of interest and the principal. You go to the bank, you and I, or we have gone to the bank, we took a loan. The moment you sign on this loan, my brother, and you start paying right away. The moment they put money in an account for you, whether it's $5 out of the money you take, you start paying the mortgage one time. And so when people are paying a mortgage, and the average person, while they're paying a mortgage, they're also renting, it makes it sometimes difficult for people to be able to do the both.
Right.
That is why sometimes people move into a house before it's finished, because they cannot continue to afford to pay the rent and pay the mortgage at the same time. It's difficult, impossible. And so the average home should, if you're a diligent contractor, should take about 6 months to build an average home in Dominica.
Right.
Understand? And so we give you a 6 months grace period where you can sleep comfortably in a rented accommodation and also comfortably build a home at the same time. And this is what we are proposing in this year's budget. And I can tell you by Friday, the first $5 million will be deposited with the government housing board once we finalize the agreement with them, so people can start accessing those funds immediately. So we are moving ahead of this. And I give some example. If you allow me, Simeon, I also want to
go right ahead.
Public again. Two examples of the kind of savings that we're allowing people to make as a result of our investments in the lives and the future of our people. So if you take a loan, if a public officer or police officer takes a loan of $400,000, and they give you 30 years to repay, right? Now the monthly payment on a 2% loan would be $1,470. If you have a loan of 7%, the monthly payment would be $2,661. Understand? The total interest that you will pay on a 2% loan over that 30-year period will be $142,252. All right? And on a 7% loan, right, the interest you'll pay over 30 years with a $400,000 loan is $558,036.
Wow.
So a monthly savings of $1,183. That's a lot of money to save.
Of course.
So it gives you the ability now to build a home and still be able to buy food and pay a local motor car to the bank. You understand? And the total savings on interest that you will save with a 2% loan as opposed to a 7% loan is $425,784. So Simeon and Carissa and all your listeners, effectively, the government is keeping in your pocket over a 30-year period $425,784.
Wow. Yes.
That's real money. That's not monopoly we're talking about, your comrades.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
This is real money that will keep in your pocket. That if you are a public officer A and you take 2%, and public officer B takes 7%, that is the kind of money that will be keeping in the person who got the loan at 2% pocket. Wow. Because you have paid that to the financial institution over a period of time. But we give it your pocket.
Yes.
Over 40 years.
Yes.
You understand?
Massive savings.
So this is real tangible benefits. And if you go to a $300,000 loan at 30 years mortgage comparison, right? Monthly payment on 2% is $1,109. The monthly payment on 7% is $1,996. Total interest you would pay on the 2% for the $300,000 30-year mortgage is $99,189. The total interest you will pay over 40 years with a 7% interest loan is $418,527. A monthly savings of $887. Here's your little motor car you're going to buy. You pay the credit union for your motor car. And total savings on interest is $319,338.
Wow.
That is money we're keeping in your pocket. In your pocket. And this is a government that has its ears on the ground, that is focused, that is aware of how people are living, that is aware of the challenges which people are expressing that they have, and it is coming up with policies and programs that we believe will improve the lives of your people in a dramatic and positive ways. And so this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And if you go now to the cost of living issue, Simeon, and the dramatic list of items that we have caused now to be either have no import duties or no of VAT of zero rated VAT, or in some cases they have no VAT and no import duties. So there are some goods that will come to Dominica with no taxes on it.
Yeah.
You understand? And I made the point in the parliament about, and because we were criticized by some by saying that the items are not healthy items.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah, healthy items. Now when you drawing up a list of what they call the basket of goods, you have to take into consideration the cultural and traditional way of life of our people.
Yes.
You have to know what people eat and drink. And you have to know what the majority of people eat and drink.
That's right.
And you have to know what the people at the lower income bracket, what do they shop? What do they buy? You understand?
Yes.
And sometimes you make a joke and because that's what life is, and then they take it and they twist it and say, oh, scared because scared not in corned beef, he take out the tax on corned beef. Then if I was eating corned beef, say, well, because scared in corned beef, he take out the tax on it.
Yes.
I know.
So I used to eat corned beef. I don't eat corned beef anymore because of choice.
Right.
Not because I don't think that a corned beef is nice. I mean, or any canned food.
Right.
Everything you eat, you have to eat in moderation.
That's correct.
A doctor might tell you a glass of wine a day is good for you, but for Karis, might say it's not good for him.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. It's what I'm saying. But should we ban this stuff? The issue of sugar, I advocate, as you know, everywhere I speak, whether it's in Dominica or anywhere in the Caribbean, I advocate against the high prevalence of CNCDs, and I urge citizens to avoid sugar as far as practically possible. And if you're going to consume sugar, be careful with the amount that you consume, because sugar is the major source of all our health problems. Now, I have taken a deliberate decision myself as a citizen, because I'm advocating for it. I don't consume anything with added sugar. You understand? But it's not because I don't take sugar mean I have to go as Prime Minister and impose my personal view and lifestyle on the whole country.
Right.
People, we cannot do without sugar. There's no way we can do without sugar in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's no way we can do without sugar. So sugar is important. And every household in our country uses sugar one way or the other. And therefore sugar is an important element for consideration.
Oh, yes.
And so the list that we have. Now, you recall when St. Lucia, when my friend in St. Lucia, Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, a very decent gentleman, a very good friend of mine.
Yes.
When he sent out the long list that he sent out of items that were VAT zero rated, Dominicans were sending it to all the rights.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true.
Hey, look at this here, look what Scared Panda doing in St. Lucia. Why doesn't he do the same thing? Now, when you go and you see the list in St. Lucia, it's the same thing: cornmeal, oats, peas, luncheon meat, corned beef, sardines, tuna, mackerel. It's the same thing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So this is what we have done, and I believe that Dominicans were surprised the extent to which we went with the list of items that we have included that no longer has VAT and no longer have import duty. And I want to thank Astefan, J. Astefan and Company for being so transparent and exercising a very sincere corporate responsibility. And I'm not saying so very lightly, and I mean every word I'm saying there, for coming out so quickly and to advertise, publicize the reduction in the prices that we will see when this take effect.
Very good.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
And everybody who shops, every dollar you save on a shopping item is important. Because this thing adds up. If you have 40 items and you save $1 each on each item, that's $40 you keep in to pay a water bill.
Easy.
Right? You know what I'm saying? And this thing's add up. So I'm very happy for what the government is going to do. I can tell you one of the initial suggestions was that we want to look at reducing the VAT by 0.5%, but there was a general view that we should have a list of items and so forth. And even after we announced the budget, we still took note of some of the comments and observations that people have made.
Right.
So the Minister for Health, Honorable Carson Level, sent me a WhatsApp message a couple days after the budget and say, in discussing with some people, they said that they welcome the sanitary napkin exemption, but whether we could add some other items. And we will add these items when we come to put in the legislation in place, because we have to go to Parliament to amend the legislation.
Right.
And so we put items in place. And we're taking note of some of the comments that people made in respect to the vehicles and the levy of the 15 years on the vehicle and so forth. We're taking note of the comments, and we'll see how we can facilitate and to respond to the concerns of the population as far as practically possible. So these are the kinds of savings. These are the kinds of savings that we are putting forward in the country, and I'm very happy that we have sort of extensive now. You talk about tourism, Simeon. When you go and read, I urge Dominicans to read the section on tourism. I urge Dominicans, as I said in the Parliament, we effectively have two budget addresses. One for agriculture and the other for the rest of the economy. Agriculture got center stage as always in the budget. I mean, you have the budget address before me.
Yeah.
I mean, the rebates you're talking about, Simeon, the land that we're making available to the people. You're talking about $1
Yeah.
per acre
That policy
for
there.
the first 5 years.
That's a good one, I'm telling you.
And then so if you go and you buy 3 acres of land in Wesley today, farmland in Wesley today is no less than $50,000 per acre.
Wow.
Okay, no less.
Right.
I put that lower end.
Right.
And you go and you buy 3 acres of land in Wesley, that will be $150,000
So
Plus- plus the transfer fees and lawyers' fees. And that's what I'm saying. What we have done effectively is to tell you, no, my brother, no, my sister, keep that money in your pocket. Keep that money in your bank account. We, the government, will make lands available to you at $1 per acre for the first 5 years.
Right.
So that person now no longer has to find $150,000 to invest upfront in agriculture because the government has told him to keep that, and all we want from him is $3.
Right.
$3.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yep.
$3 a year. That's all $3.
That's like pocket change.
I mean, everybody can afford $3, my brother.
That's pocket change.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you hear the words in the budget, sometimes people don't connect the words to real life situations and real benefits. And this is why I took my time to go through the numbers in my contribution to show people that how you turn those words into dollars, into dollar and cents, money. You understand? Real money. Put in your pocket, put in your hand, allow you to keep in the bank account for your rainy day and for your children's future. The government is there as a partner, investing in you, investing with you, ensuring that we work with you and we facilitate your contribution to yourself and to the country, and we allow you to make money. So this is what we're doing.
Yes.
And you do local planting and so forth. I also carrot planting. I'm much carrots than planting. I'm assuming that I don't know.
My farm.
If you're married, not you should
my
have a
farm.
little farm somewhere.
Yeah, well, he should, but it doesn't mean that he has. So I expect him he should have, but whether he has it is a different matter.
He's right there.
But the guy suspects carrots is more of a consumer of agricultural produce rather than a producer of it.
Defend yourself, Carson.
No. Let PM continue.
All right. So you have now most crops
Yes.
will harvest in 5 years.
That's true.
Daphne, 8-9 months. Bananas, 8-9 months.
Coconuts.
Turmeric, 12 months. Coconut, 18 months, 2 years. Avocados, 2 years. Cocoa, 2 years. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Lime, a year and a half, 2 years. Good crop. You name it. And so you can, the amount of money you can make on that $3
Yes.
is amazing. So instead of you spending $150,000,
Right.
in 5 years we allow you to make $150,000. That you add to your $150,000 in the bank, and in 5 years you have $300,000 in the bank.
That's wonderful. Though I also saw a component of it, PM, that involves some rebate or whatever it is.
Rebate.
Yeah.
That's right. So in the rebate, what we're saying is that if you invest a particular amount, right? So it says here, for example, so it says here, Mr. Speaker, to support government's extensive investment in agriculture and incentivize production by farmers, a rebate program is proposed for select agricultural commodities. The rebate is meant to assure farmers that with a guaranteed investment, government will provide additional support to expand their production. This is essentially a partnership between the government and farmers to enhance food security and help realize the goals of increased agricultural productivity. The following will form the basis of the rebate program. 1, farmers investing in housing and infrastructure for poultry with a minimum of 5,000 broilers, including stock and feed, will receive a rebate of 40% of cost up to a maximum of $20,000. 2, for investments in protected agriculture, A, fully enclosed, including hydroponics, 50% of the cost. So you're talking about greenhouses, hydroponics, those kinds of things.
Right.
Up to $20,000. And B, partially enclosed, 50,000 of cost up to 9,000. 3, the following investments, establishment and rehabilitation in specific commodities will benefit from the following rebates. A, citrus establishment per acre, 50% of cost up to 2,000. B, cocoa establishment per acre, 50% of cost up to $2,200. C, cocoa rehabilitation per acre, 50% of cost up to $1,500. D, coffee establishment per acre, 50% of cost up to $2,200. And E, coffee rehabilitation per acre, 50% of cost up to $1,500. And it goes on to say another measure. Additionally, considering the current vulnerability of our agricultural sector to natural disasters, a crop insurance scheme will be implemented to protect farmers from catastrophic loss. The scheme will prioritize vulnerable commodities such as plantains, bananas, and other high-risk crops in the first instance. This initiative would include joint contribution by farmers and the government. So, Simeon, you can read that and these are just 2 areas I read for you tonight. There.
Yes.
There's a plethora of initiatives and programs under the agriculture. You talk about agro-processing. You talk about micro and small and medium-sized enterprises. And I told you have to read the section tourism, where a very bold vision has been articulated for tourism. Really bold vision for tourism. And if properly implemented, I believe it can reap tremendous positive benefits to the citizens of Dominica. And so we're very excited about this, because the reality is we have to bring more and more people into the country to consume the goods and services that we're producing, so that they can bring the foreign exchange into the country, and then it's important that people can buy food, consume the produce that we have, the products that we have, rent cars, stay in the hotel rooms, go on tours, have tour guides, and that's how we're going to make the money, by bringing more people in. The other point I wanted to share with you, which I shared in the parliament, I think is worth repeating, because you hear some people say that the economy is not growing, so long scary there, and nothing's happening, and there's no growth in the economy. And I made a deliberate attempt to share with people the 45 years of Dominica's economic growth.
Right.
So I went back to 1979. You understand?
Yes.
So when we look at Dominica, and I said in 1979, you had Hurricane David, and you also had the political instability. And so in 1979, there was a decline of the economy of 18.4%. Okay? 18.4% decline. And for the first 2 years of the Dominican Freedom Party government, I used to say 1980 and 1991, 1980 and 1981, the economy grew by 13.4% and 10.8% respectively. But over the next 8 years, I used to say from 1982 to 1989, growth under the Freedom Party averaged 4.2%. And in the last 5 years of the DFP, the economy grew by an average of 2.2% per year and 0% in its final year. In the last and only 5 years of the United Workers' Party, the average annual GDP growth was 2.6%. 1995, 3%. 1996, 3.6%. 1997, 2.2%. 1998, 3.8%. And 1999, 0.4%. Okay? When we came into government, we struggled with a 0.3% average over the first 3 years of the structural adjustment
Right.
to cover the economic mismanagement failures of the previous administration. Then, over the next 6 years, GDP growth climbed to an average of 4.6% per year. Now, remember, the EWP was 2.6%.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And outside of the 2 first years of the Freedom Party had an average of 4.2% in its best years. So no government prior to us becoming the government had an average growth rate of 4.6%. And so in 2000, we had a 5.8% growth. In 2004, 4.1%. 2005, 0.9%. Because we were affected by a couple of natural disasters, the earthquake and other trough system.
Right.
2006, 4.4%. 2007, 5.4%. 2008, 7.1% growth in economy. Right? In 2009, the global financial crisis forced a period of GDP stagnation until 2014, when we registered a 2.3% increase. In 2015, Tropical Storm Erica flooded away assets valued at over of 96% of our GDP.
Right.
And 2 years later, we were devastated by Hurricane Maria, with damage estimated at 226% of GDP.
Everything gone.
So the struggle to find our feet saw growth rates of 3% in 2018 and 3.9% in 2019. That's after the hurricane. We still had growth. Hurricane was 2017.
Yeah.
We had growth in 2018. We had growth in 2019. Okay? And then the pandemic, and we were severely affected. The economy declined by 15.7% in 2020. But in 2021, we bounced back. We were 5.4% growth. So we were 15.7% negative growth. So we have to now climb out of the negative.
Yeah.
And to get to the positive side of the scale. And to have registered to have had a 15.7 negative decline, and to have a 5.4% growth is an amazing investment. You don't have to make tremendous investments to bounce back in that. And that spoke to the way in which we managed COVID-19. We allow farmers to go to the farms. We allow fishermen to go and fish. We allow construction to take place. The number of activities we allowed to take place during COVID.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And in 2022, Simeon and Carissa, we had a growth rate of 10.4%.
Wow.
And in 2023, 4.7%. And in 2024, 3.5%. And so you see the growth. You see the growth in the economy. And when you talk about GDP, when we came to government, the GDP was $900,000.
Right.
Today it is $2,020,000.
Wow.
Growing. Last year it was $1.888 billion. 2025 it is projected to be $2.02 billion. So between last year and this year, it grew by over $150 million.
Yes,
And so there's growth. Are we where we want to get to? I will first to say, not yet. We have to push.
Yes.
We have to push implementation. We have to push productivity in the country. You understand? We're not here. It requires all of us to play our part, not only the government.
That's right.
All of us must play our part if we're to get to the point where we have to get. So when people say that we've been in government for a long time and time to go and blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
We've been doing well as a government on behalf of the country. And people have, the voting population of Dominica has rewarded us for a good job.
That's right. That's right.
That's what it is. People go and they vote because they are confident that this government is doing a good job. People know that when there's difficulty in the country, they know they can go to bed, waking up, knowing that they'll wake up with this Labour Party in government.
That's
and Roosevelt Scott as the Prime Minister.
That's right. The fear is they know that they can trust this government. Prime Minister, I mean, you have yes.
Even when I leave the country for a few days,
Yes.
the people who miss me the most are people, you know.
You know,
people who miss me the most are people. We're scared, boys. I'm so scared. Go up to you.
They want to know where you go. When you coming back?
There's one scared around, then they know they comforted.
It reminds me of the previous election when one of the acolytes of the opposition said that one of the biggest fear was if Labour come on there, what would the others bring? Because they couldn't see anything that would show that they could keep the momentum going. But clearly, PM, from what you have delivered tonight, this is not a government that is tired. This is a government that is still at work.
That's right.
And is pushing hard. And
we're working. We're not sleeping. I mean, people know me. I just see me. I work 24/7.
Yes, that's one thing I know.
I work 24/7. It's hard work, but you're in it. You have to do the work. It's not about dressing pretty and all this. No, you have to do the work.
You have to do the work.
This is work because people rely on you for the circumstance.
Yes.
And it's a solemn duty. It's really an extraordinary responsibility that you have. Being in government, and therefore you have to take it seriously. You have to be diligent. You have to be empathetic. Otherwise, if you're not, you'll be frustrated.
That's right. That's right. But tonight you have spoken about the jobs that will be created, the sustainable jobs that will be created on completion of many of the capital projects that are ongoing in the country. But even under construction, they are also creating jobs.
The cable car has 304 people employed. The airport has 429 Dominicans employed under construction.
And then you have the marina coming up.
That is direct jobs, eh?
Yes. Yes.
Not indirect jobs. And indirect jobs you can add many to it because restaurants are opening. People renting homes in those areas. People washing clothes for people, doing laundry. People cooking food for people. The grocery stores are making money.
Taxi drivers. It has a rippling effect.
No,
Prime Minister, I mean, this clearly shows that, because Comrade Clarence have been, and Senior Counsel have been talking about savings in the banks, and the fact that, even in the reports presented, how by the IMF and so on, they have recognized that people's savings have gone up in the financial institutions. Listening to the policies that you have explained clearly tonight and those you are presenting in the Parliament, it is clear that with the savings, the additional money that people are taking away, you talk about the mortgage, and the hundreds of thousands of dollars that people are saving on the percentage, that clearly this would allow them to be able to save money.
Yeah, of course, because if you go back to the point I made in regards to income tax, and a person earning a salary of 6,000, and you could have different scenarios for different type of salaries,
right?
And you will see the numbers of money that we're able to allow people to keep to keep
at the end of the
month. Understand?
Yes.
To keep every day, whether it is through and I don't want to touch the student loan, for example.
Right.
You understand? I don't touch the student loan. Like I just been talking about the mortgage and agriculture,
right,
and the kinds of monies that we allow people to keep into your pockets. You understand? Into the pockets and in their savings. That is crucial. That is important.
And it is showing
my hope and prayer.
Yes.
For those who are going to benefit from those kinds of initiatives, which is effectively all of us in the country, we need to make good use of it.
Yes.
You understand? We need to take those opportunities to cause us to grow and to develop and to have our way of life much more improved than when it was before we took those advantage of the opportunities. So we have to let these things replicate in us. We have to let it multiply in us by being prudent, by being responsible, by not wasting the opportunities that we get. By not wasting the monies that we get as grants by taking care of the home, planting flowers in the home, cleaning our home, keeping it clean, so that you don't have too much wear and tear on the house that's looking like it's a house that built 25 years ago and just built 2 years ago. Those things are important. The children going to school, who get the free uniform, the free books, the free transportation. It's important that the parents and the community encourage them to study and to do well and to go on to the next level of the school system. Those students who have gotten scholarships to go to the United States and elsewhere, University of West Indies, to study, that they show gratitude to those who have invested in them, and to use that knowledge not to bring down people, not to criticize, but to uplift themselves and uplift the people around them. Let us appear to be enlightened people. Those of us who are paying rent and we got a home, save half of what you're paying as rent. Save something.
Yes.
It adds up.
I mean, PM, you spoke a lot about the mortgage, but even with the government-owned housing program that it have had over the many years, and the number of families that are able to sleep comfortable tonight due to the housing program that this government has initiated, one that no other government has been able to do as this government has been able to do it. I mean, these two has assisted several families with quite a bit of savings, because they would have either had a mortgage or most probably have to pay a rent, and they have received these houses that the government has obviously under your policy provided for free.
Yeah. I mean, we've done extraordinary work. I mean, the extent of our investment, and we can only imagine, Simeon, comment, if we're not affected by these natural disasters and external shocks. I mean, and I made a point in the Parliament. There's no country in the Caribbean in the last 12 years that have been subjected to so many natural disasters and also external shocks at the same time.
Right.
None.
And still able to manage.
Over the last 12 years, I mean, we were, and plus we took 6 years from 2000 to 2006 to fix the economy because of the reckless actions of the United Workers' Party. So 6 plus 12, 18 years we have been responding to shocks and natural disasters.
Yeah, I tell you, man, and still keeping things operating and moving, paying the bills,
and still standing, standing.
Yes.
Still standing.
But I wanted to ask you something on agriculture further, because some of the impression being given out there is that this government is not doing enough for agriculture, and saying that there should be more concessions given to farmers. But from my understanding, from what I have seen, farmers are able to get vehicles, I believe, if they are cultivating their farms duty free and maybe even the VAT free 2 PM.
Yeah, they don't pay excise tax and import duty
on the vehicles.
Vehicles.
Also the tools and so forth.
And
the farms.
And then taxes, you don't pay any income tax on your earnings from agriculture.
Right.
There's a whole range of items that are VAT free and import duty free.
Right.
For farming. So it's really a great place to invest in Dominica agriculture.
Yes. And as I said to myself, I keep saying farmers make more money today on their produce than I know they used to make before. In time of before, farmers used to sell by low. Nowadays they sell by pound. Everything is a pound. I bought a pineapple for $20. I remember buying that same pineapple many years ago because they would just watch it and give you a price. But now, because they weigh everything now, it's a different system that we are living in. But it is clear, PM, that you and the Dominica Labour Party have clearly thought of the needs of the people of this country and have really done what is the studies that is required to make sure that you carefully give back to the citizens while at the same time ensuring that you does not jeopardize central government finances in a sense where government has to find itself not being able to pay salaries, pay social security, pay the private sector and so on moving forward.
Yeah, it's an important balance. I mean, I listen to the population a lot. I like to listen to the divergent views, and I take note of all of the comments that people make from time to time, and I assess them.
Yes.
And yes, I could come and say, okay, well, we'll do this and we'll do that, but I would also note that what I'm proposing would cause harm to the people, and therefore we avoid some things, even if we would like to do it. But the reality is, you ought not to do it because it is not the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? It is not the prudent thing to do. It's not the responsible thing to do. And so when I came and I set aside these pillars that were being propagated. I mean, it was important that I expose these things for the danger that they are.
Yes.
You know, because we have to contend with too many uncertainties for anybody to come with some prescriptions that they themselves have not clearly thought out.
Hey, and it's clear they haven't thought of it at all from listening to them. They have not done any background work to understand the true effect of some of what they are promising that they would do, if at all, getting into power. Yes.
I understand from sources that they have now reduced the 10 pillars to 8.
It's going down slowly.
because we destroyed the 2.
The first 2. But I think the others are just all talk PM. There is no meat to it. It's all bone. You know?
And when you look at these things, man, if you go to what 2000, I hear people talking about, we copy and paste things, what people say. And if you go to a 2014, 2019 manifesto,
yes,
all of what we're doing here now in Dominica are all articulated in the Dynamic Dominica Manifesto.
That's a fact. I've studied that myself and realized that.
Go and study it. I'm not asking them, go and study it. You know what I'm saying? Go and study it, and you will see that all of what we're implementing and we continue to implement and articulate in the budget address are enshrined in the 2000 Dynamic Dominica Manifesto of the Dominica Labour Party.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
You understand? And I can tell you, I take note of what people say. There is no politician in Dominica, and I say so with the greatest of humility, who is more on the ground and more in touch with the people than myself.
Yes.
And I take note of everything people say. I meet people, I listen to them, I take note of what they're saying, I take note of the criticism, I take note of what they like, what they don't like. And you see what's going. We, on the issue of solid waste, we didn't hide and say that we ought not to do better. We ought to do better in garbage collection and management. You know what I'm saying? And we have put a plan in place to address it. Obviously, at some point, we, the people who are benefiting from the services of solid waste, will have to make some contribution that we will have to determine by way of consultation with national population to see what we're to contribute.
Yeah.
We're not going to hide it from us.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? So we take note of people's concern and criticism, and we all live in the country.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we all share some of the concerns and the aspirations and dreams of the people. So we respond.
Yes.
We don't go hiding away from the thing. We take responsibility, and that's what.
Indeed. I wanted to ask you, though, Prime Minister, because you mentioned about opening up Dominica for people to come in, making Dominica visa-free entry for certain nationalities. And you went on to even go as far as talking about Dominica being open up to, welcoming Palestinians into Dominica so on. And some of the critics came up against
the point, every country in the world, any country in the world, any country in the world that has a growth in their population is through a migrant population.
Right.
In the United States, Americans don't make children. The migrant people who are having children in America. So because see, in some countries normally they either have one child or no children. They focus on the career, they focus on work, etc., and other environmental issues that we can go into detail, but not necessary for tonight. And so where we go in New Dominica, you're going to need tremendous skills, and you're going to need more people to fill the gaps and to fill the space that are available for us to maintain and grow the economy to the state that we would like to go. The 10% we like to see, we have to increase productivity. You understand? Because it's not only government that's going to cause growth to happen.
Right.
The government has its part to play, but every one of us, including the suppliers of labor, the working people of the country, have a part to play in productivity, private sector, in the growth. You understand? It is all of what we do that when we add it up, we get the growth. It's not only what government is doing.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's what everybody does. So what you do in Simeon at your factory, at your workshop, contributes to the growth.
Indeed.
And if I am satisfied, if you can get 5 proper skills men who can give you a 5 days work, 5 days week work, 40 hours a week, you can supply them because most of the furniture we need in a quicker time.
Oh no doubt.
It's what I'm saying. You have the talent, you have the skill, you have the equipment. What you need is the labor that you need.
That's right. That's right.
But you are not able to sustain your labor because a guy will come to you for a year and he might leave you and go.
And it's difficult to get them, PM. It's difficult.
To get them.
I can tell
and
you.
what I'm saying.
I can
So
tell you.
you have that.
Yep, I can tell you that I have communicated with a number of my colleagues, whether in the construction sector or in my field and other fields, and it's very, very difficult sometimes to get hold of a carpenter or a mason or somebody.
Yeah, so the idea of I referenced the Palestinians. I wasn't talking about the Palestinians from a point of view of refugees. No.
Right.
I'm looking from a point of view of the talent that they have, of the skills that they have. That they're among some of the brightest doctors in the world. Some of them are among the brightest engineers in the world. They have youth, talent, and skill where agriculture is concerned. Because they're in a dry area, but they're doing very well with agriculture. Because they have been able to develop techniques and innovation that can grow crops under dry conditions with less water.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the same oranges and the same grapefruits and the same tangerine and so on, they have developed varieties that are grown that grow better under dry conditions, limited water. Because grapefruits and these things need high elevation or these things to produce high water area to produce.
Right.
You see something, but it can do under dry conditions. And so this is what I'm saying. I'm only talking about Palestinians, but people of any race around the world, whether it's Africans, whether it's Europeans, whether it's Americans. Why should we invite them to Dominica? I've taken note of the concerns that some Dominicans have raised, and so forth. I don't think that some of the concerns that they raised are misplaced or out of place. Everyone has a right to express himself one way or the other. So I am not criticizing anybody's view. Once a person has presented that view in a constructive, positive way, some people have taken this thing from a political standpoint, as always in the country. Yeah. So I dismiss those people.
Right.
But when it comes to people who are making a contribution from whatever point of view, I respect that people. Some people WhatsApp on both sides of the argument, and I simply acknowledge it and respect it and appreciate the reaching out and sharing their views one way or the other. And that's what that was the intention I had when I made a comment in that decision we have taken. Right. It is something that I put out for public discourse, and I believe that is important as a government that we put things out so that people can have you can poke people's brain and poke people's mind, and out of that you're able to fashion a policy that is more refined than if you had just done it yourself.
Right.
And so this is what we've done. But I believe that we have to find a way of growing the population. People talk about tax measures and so on. I don't think tax measures or rebates and so on is going to help. Because the people who will be making it children are those who pay income tax. Right. What we need, you know what I'm saying? So that rebate is not going to help the people that you already want to help to urge them to make it children. So we can put ideas there, but this is one ideas, and I can tell you that there are other governments in the region that are also actively looking at this issue.
Yes. Right.
They have public statements about it. I'm at liberty to name names.
Right.
But the people there, but unfortunately, the media went and used the word refugees and all these things, which was not what was not the case at all.
That was not the intention.
I was speaking from a point of view of labor.
Labor, yes. Skills
and access to skills. You understand? Because if the challenge we have at the hospital, for example, at Medipoint, all of the doctors, all of the specialist doctors that we have are engaged in private practice. I'm not criticizing them for that. People have to make their money, and the private practice making money.
Right.
And so you don't have specialists who are given public health 100% of the attention. And if we can get a few doctors who can come in, whether it's Palestinians or Nigeria, where we should get doctors from before, there were Dr. Fadipe, Dr. Ali, all of his fine doctors were still the first in Dominica. Fadipe was the first one to go and open a private hospital in Dominica as a Nigerian doctor.
That's right.
We got Nigerian cases. They gave us great service in the 80s and 90s.
Oh yes.
And they still do today. I mean, Dr. Adi and Dr. Fadipe are fine doctors.
Oh yes.
They're from Nigeria. And they made Dominica their home.
Yes.
You can't tell Dr. Fadipe he's not from Dominica or Dr. Adi.
I tell you.
So I am not only limiting it to one particular ethnic group or race or region. It's more broad and wider than that which was articulated. In thing.
Right.
So we have to look at that.
So you are dealing with this thing with an open mind.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yes.
not like people are going to displace Dominicans. No, I think you would do this stuff in a structured way. You look at where you are, the gaps and the limitations and so forth, and you recruit people based on your needs.
On your needs,
and people just wanted to come to Dominica. No, you do it based on your needs, based on your circumstance, and this is what we were proposing, and so forth, and.
And the public is asking for it 2 p.m. I mean, it's not just because you have farmers, for example, who need people for their farms to work on their farms. You have various professional skills that are required throughout the entire economy.
But you see, when Dominicans migrate to all countries, or to the United States and elsewhere.
Yes.
And every country in the world was built by migrants.
You know what's funny, PM? Is that some of those are here criticizing you bringing forward that policy direction. Living overseas, you know, in another country working. They are Dominican citizens, they're not home. They are in another country working where they have gone and find their life there. And that's all well and good. But
that's well and good. I'm not criticizing or chastising for that. Yeah. I just feel that we have to avoid being hypocritical with our views and not always looking at things from a partisan lens, and because Skerrit says, and I don't support Skerrit, and I don't agree with it. That's not the way we make a contribution to the positive development of Dominica.
Right.
But you know, it is
10:33. Yes.
I came in on 9:15. And I only came for 45 minutes.
I noticed that. I noted that, but I want to thank you because I do believe that the information that you have delivered tonight, and we will continue to speak on it, is very important for the general public to get a full understanding of these things. Because you see, many people didn't understand the measures, all of these tax benefits that the government has implemented over the years from 2000 coming forward, and the number of savings that the number of families have had as a result of that. You know, people really didn't, a lot of people didn't know that, you know. I mean, it happened, yes, maybe those who were getting it know that, but the general public itself didn't have a full understanding of it. And your explanation of it in the parliament, it became clear to Dominicans how this government has really approached reform and has done it in a responsible way to make sure that this country is not jeopardized, but the citizens can continue to live and at the same time benefit from the policies direction of this government. I think it is important that you did that, and I really want to thank you for the way in which you delivered that this time around in the parliament.
Yeah, I think we have to do more of that so people understand and appreciate what we've done, because sometimes we take it for granted. I mean, somebody may get a house and because they're so comfortable in the house, we may take it for granted, but not understanding that we spend 20,000 to build his home, or 200 to build his home, yes, and that you don't have to pay anything for. And I don't want people to think that we're saying so in any reproach way. We're always having a conversation, and state facts, and draw to your attention how government's policies have been able to benefit you and benefit the country as a whole. Yes, I'm saying this is from the perspective that I'm engaging the population on.
Yes.
Because people say that nothing's happening, and sometimes with the government we don't respond. We don't want to explain the facts and put the facts on the table. So I intend to do this, and I intend to do more of that. And anytime you invite me to come back on, I'll come back on. The next time I come back, I like to maybe spend more time taking the questions. But the reality is, building infrastructure in Dominica is more difficult than any other country. And when I see country flat land and so on, I mean, you drive in Simeon.
Yes.
And almost every mile and a half, there's a bridge, you know.
Oh, man, I tell you, not just one bridge. It's the number of bridges that
yes, we love these rivers, but Jesus Christ. I mean, a bridge or water crossing, it's culverts you have to build these days, equal in size to a bridge.
Oh, yes. And they all cost millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. I just drove last night through the from Dalis to the Petit-Savan area to come down to town, and I noticed that we will need some maintenance on that side, but I noticed, that the work is ongoing on the Grand Bay Road. Tremendous work is going on there.
We spend from Guardia to Castlebrus to the Caligo territory onto Pigua via Atkinson. That project cost us $227 million.
Wow. Yes, I.
I mean,
yes, I.
You know what I'm saying? $227 million. Other countries that are flat, you can redo the roads wrong the country and you still have change left.
Yes. Well, not for us.
Not for us. Because when we were building this road, Simeon, you got several bridges. All of the bridges had to be reconstructed, brand new, or built brand new. Now, you had now to build or place temporary bridges. So you have to buy temporary daily bridges to put there so people can get from one point to the other, while at the same time building new bridges.
Yes.
It's $227 million.
It's a lot of money.
Something else. You understand? And so you drive on the road and you say, okay, well, a road, what's a road? But that road costs us $227 million. If it cost us $50 million now, I could have taken the 100 and something million to do something else.
Yeah, you could have gone all the way to the list.
You know what I'm saying? You could have done something else.
Yes.
You see, I could have done from Pokase roundabout to the Tarish Street.
Yes.
You know something? I could have redone the road in Larry Park going onto the hot water bridge.
But you still have to find monies for that outside of that.
Outside of that. You know what I'm saying? I could have done all of the feeder roads. If the road from Guadia to Pego had cost us even $100 million.
Once you talk about approaching the roads,
because it's $227 million.
a lot of money you have to raise in for these things.
Yeah, you have to. So when we see this road, we just drive in there. You know, we take for granted. We drive on smooth road, two-lane bridges, enhanced safety. It increased the value of our properties along the road in those communities. More people come in there, so we just take it for granted. But we have to stop and reflect.
Yes.
And stop and reflect to see where this country was when we came in 2000 and where we are today. And I believe that everybody will recognize that tremendous work has been done. But you have all the calls, Nicole. I want to appreciate very much you taking my call.
Yes, indeed. It's a pleasure.
I in here. I'll try to come back sometime, but please.
Yes.
45 minutes. You must stop in 45 minutes.
I want to thank you very much, Simon. It's always, whenever we have you, it's always a pleasure, and you flow so nicely with us, and the listeners always enjoy having you and listening to you. And so the time always flies, because I watch the clock there and I said the time flies so fast that I didn't even realize it, and there is so much important.
But thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. And of course, again,
yes,
let's call it out and work together.
Yes.
This is the only serious party in the country, the only organized party in this country, and we open, our doors are open in Labour House. There are many rooms, and if it wasn't so, I wouldn't have told you so.
Right. And you mean what you say?
I mean, I don't play games now.
That's right.
I don't play games.
That's
I don't play games.
That's right.
My word is my bond.
That's correct. Well, thank you again, man. God bless.
All right, take care. All the best.
All right, yes. Yes, Carissa, indeed, I mean, Prime Minister have given us so much there tonight. We have our Comrade Lloydie on the line there, holding on there with us. Comrade Lloydie, I know you might want to come in and comment. Feel free to unmute your mic there if you are following. But Carissa, indeed, what more can the Labour Party do in this country other than to say, well done? I mean, you think of where the Prime Minister have spoken about the benefits to the citizenry of this country. I mean, the number of... And ordinarily, I've been on the radio defending the party for a number of years. But when I listen to that comprehensive presentation by the Prime Minister, like he did here tonight, on the benefit, and you talk about real, tangible benefit, money back in the hands of the people.
That's right.
That is what we're talking about, the savings that people have had. That is why when Clarence come on this radio program, Clarence always talking about the millions of dollars that the credit unions and those institutions have seen in their records that they continue to display that people are saving, because if they are taking away all of this revenue as a result of these tax rebates and the concessions that are being given on low interest loans and so forth, clearly people will definitely have more money in their pocket. But let's just see who's on the line there first. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no problem, Mommy. Just be nice, be short and sweet for us tonight, yes, because we want to take a few calls before the end.
Because I know you have other calls to take.
Yes, and we have 20 minutes. Go ahead.
May God continue to bless you, my son. You have been doing a fantastic job. And there was no one before you, and there will be no one after you. You are good from God, and He chose you to be the leader of this country. You have been doing a fantastic job. to continue the work for the Lord. You have to continue his mission that he sent me to do for him. And when you're ready, he tell you enough is enough. So continue the work. Don't look down like Peter in the waters. Keep your head above the waters and pray always. God bless you, my son.
Yes.
Work well done.
Yes.
Teach well done.
Indeed.
So me, you know what I'm really talking, what I think of there. When the PM was talking about the 2%,
Yes.
when to be the 2% interest. I work as a in the ministry. I paid social security, and I used to pay the interest before they touch the loan, you know.
Yes. You have to pay the interest.
And I had a lot of interest to pay before they even touch the loan. When I think I finished, I just started it.
Yes, you know.
So if it was the 2% during those times, I would have a little money somewhere that I can eat and drink.
That's right. You'd save something.
But right now I stay dumb. And it's not ready. I take all my money, never send to Social Security. So I got stuck with 7 children.
Yes, I.
It wasn't easy for me.
Yes, yes, yes.
So PM, well done. And I hope everybody that can afford that is working and can take a loan to pay the 2%, it will be a good thing for them.
Yes, yes.
But those who are not employed and they haven't got a proper job, they cannot go under that. Like me myself, I wish I'd go under that job now to go and take a loan to go under the 2%. The last one I got one closing and they tell me now I'm 60 and I can't get it. But I start to make noise.
Age come up on you.
You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
I said when I was playing social credit union, when I was going to non-school, you know, we had a book.
Right, right.
And that is how they build the credit union, you know, so.
That's correct.
It's really whether our mother used to have to give us a penny to put on our savings.
But I've heard them in
and we never got that money back.
I've heard the credit unions in recent time giving lower interest rate, 4%, and you know, better,
But it's still high.
more attractive. Yes, yes, of course,
It's
obviously.
still high. Because people have took loans long ago, a few years ago, they can't finish the loan because the interest is too high.
Yes, yes. I mean,
So I wish they can go and take the 2%.
yes. Well,
That's a good thing the Prime Minister did. I tell you, this man has wisdom.
yes,
God gave him wisdom and he's using it.
that's right.
It's not like those sticky fingers that call us an economic.
Right.
And those people that see them in America, one thing was bad. Hurricane David, Hurricane Maria, all of them run. They go to foreign country,
Yes, I.
right? And they want to come and talk about 27 foreigners to come into work. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Indeed.
Go to America and see amount of them that they call themselves economic and brain box. And they're a bunch of idiots and bunch of whammies.
Thank you,
You know
ma'am.
what I'm saying?
I know.
That's what they are.
Thank you,
And a
ma'am.
bunch of idiots, so they cannot come and tell my Prime Minister what to take when they never stand to develop their country.
Yes, I.
So they must shut their mouth.
All right.
It is get to me upset, you know.
Do
Have a blessed night.
Have a blessed night,
And
mommy.
drive safely, you and Karasa,
do.
drive safely.
We'll do.
I meet my Christian tonight.
Yes, we will
That's
do.
all.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care there. I mean, don't make them make your pressure go up. You know, we want you to live live the 100 and more. Indeed, it's already 10:45. Let's take the telephone calls. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Hey, comrade, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
And good evening to Caressa.
Yes, indeed. He just stepped in.
Yeah, and let me say
Yeah.
good evening to the Honorable Prime Minister. I just, heard him here a while ago.
Yeah.
Simo, I want to continue to give you, the highest honor because you have been doing an excellent job and in programming, because you don't have a show, you have been a program educating, breaking it down, bringing it in various forms.
Yes.
And I really want to give you, the kudos for that.
Thank you for
But,
that.
I really excited, Simeon, comrade, about that 2%. That 2% and many other things in that budget is remarkable. I will tell you why. Because, it's so much. And people like you and I who are in the industry, in the trade, in construction and so on, that is remarkable. That's a boost, for the construction industry. And
Oh,
I want
yes.
to applaud the Prime Minister and his team. And I'm just excited. I want to express myself, because I feel something, is happening for us in this country. Particularly, in my view,
Yeah.
that is one of the most outstanding budget in the history of our civilization. I mean,
Yes.
so much in that. I was in a shop a while ago. I just left, and a guy came to buy a corned beef, and I tell him, boy, just soon, by October, we'll be able to eat as much as we would like, because the price is going to go down.
Yes.
And that is a plus, because, these are things that we Dixon and corned beef and, making a nice little family dinner.
Yes.
I just, it's so much in that budget, considering the price of the people.
Yes.
I say kudos to the team, kudos to the government, kudos to the Prime Minister, and may God bless them, and bless Dominica, bless them. And the people that, crying doom and gloom for Dominica, I want to warn them, because I see a partner, fighting Dominica down on social media. And I want to say to them, this is the time where we have to come together, put all of our resources together, join hands together, let us work together. Together we will, together we can. Let us build this country for the next 10, 15 years to make a claim and a mark and a name for ourselves. That is what we aim at, because the infrastructures are there. We have the airport, we have the geothermal, we have the marina coming, we have the cable car coming, man, we have the airport coming, we have the agriculture bouncing, we have 2% in housing. So across the board, we could see growth, we could see something is coming.
Yes.
We just have to put all ourselves together and let us work together and build this country together. Thank you. God bless you, Simo.
Thank you, man.
Continue to do what you're doing, comrade.
Thank you.
And keep the faith. Let's do it together.
Indeed, thank you, and thank you for your call, and thank you for your contribution as well to the discussion here tonight. 4487-338, the numbers you can call. Of course, those of you who call us on the overseas line can also give us a call as well on the WhatsApp line as well. But Carissa, as we continue there, and our comrade Lloyd is there. If he is available he can unmute his mic and join us in the discussion here. But this is as this caller said, this 2% is going to have a repelling effect on the construction sector. When this money is actually lent out to these developers, homeowners, and those who apply for these loans, they're going to need people to build these homes within the private sector, and obviously it's going to have another impact on employment, and all the rest of it. Caller, good evening to you on the telephone. Good evening, caller.
Well, how are you? Good night.
Hey, good evening to you, my brother. I'm good, thank you, and you, man.
Simeon,
Yes, sir.
to me, I'm hearing the opposition talking, and them fellas trying to make people believe that nothing is not happening in the country.
Well, that's the song.
The UWP and their supporters, they are set of people, they are very wicked, Simeon. And if they have to continue like that, God will deal with them. The UWP has gotten an international airport is not building in Dominica.
Yep, they're pretending.
They're pretending, they're not talking about it, not saying nothing about it. To them, a cable car is not setting up in Dominica, a marina is not setting up in Dominica. No, and they believe when they go around and say those things there that they're gaining political points, but they cannot gain political points. Letting them know. There is a word that said, if God is for us, who can be against us?
Right.
God is with the Prime Minister, God is with Roosevelt Skerrit and the Labour Party, and they can graduate them out from the beginning of January to the end of December. And they will never stop the development and the massive development that this government is bringing to Dominica.
Yes.
All we have to do is to continue to support the government and pray for the government, because I'm telling you that the other thing that going, Rome was not built in one day.
That's true.
And you know that Dominica is not an easy country to develop. The area of our country is very hard.
Not at all.
And it takes hard people, not the lazy people like UWP, that almost put our country back. The biggest hurricane we never get in our country is the hurricane of the WP, And it takes Roosevelt Skerrit to come and save us and help us, my brother, to be where we are. So we have to be thankful and we have to be satisfied.
That's right.
Not going and make people believe there is nothing happening in the country as though if you come, you'll make things better. You can make things better. You cannot make things better for yourself. For Dominic, you can make things better. And all they're doing, sitting down overseas and want to run Dominic on remote control. You cannot run Dominic like this, my brother.
Yes, sorry.
You have to come and work hard and help the government to see if we can develop the country, and then people will say, oh, let us give you a chance, but they just want to come and bludge your mouth, as though it's dogs that want to eat bone and believe that people just take you and put you into office. Not like this.
Yes.
We have to just continue pray and do what we have to do, and by the grace of God, I believe we'll meet the end of the tunnel.
That's right. Thank you for your contribution. Yeah, of course, we hope we are engaging you, the listeners. Feel free to give us a call here tonight as we continue to speak on the budget and speak on, the presentation by the political leader. And, the tremendous benefit, because, Carissa, I tell you, I've been around and I have gone and listened to many budgets that have been presented over the many years. But you can see that the DLP is getting stronger and stronger every day in its whole approach towards transforming Dominica, and that has always been a great challenge for a number of leaders. I mean, Prime Minister Skerrit, I have always said since he took over the leadership of this country, have a way of making things look easy. I've never seen a leader like that. I mean, seriously, he talk about $227 million for the Cassie Bruce road alone,
Yes,
and then you have the Grand Bay Road going on with how much $1 million being spent to do that, and then you have the geothermal projects is hundreds of millions of dollars that the government have had to raise to explore and to bring it to where it is today, and you have the cables being run right now from Loda going down into Fokole to make sure that the system is underground. I mean,
Even the thing is that it is a very good thing for us to talk about the amount of money and investment spent on certain projects.
Right.
But it's a better thing when you can tell the people how much that will impact their lives. And be better for them.
yes,
You understand?
It did.
And that is what we are getting from our Prime Minister.
And no doubt, that is what we're getting. Let's take the call. The caller, good evening to you on the telephone.
Good evening, Mr. Albert.
Hi, good evening to you, my dear.
Anyway, your transport passenger is on my roadside. It's show.
All right. Yeah, I know. It's on these days, yes.
Mr. Carissa, good evening. And
Hi,
Mr.
good evening.
Carissa, where you are?
Yes.
Good evening. PM, my PM, our Prime Minister, good evening to you. And PM, thank you. You YZ and your ears. That's why they haters. They cannot stop your shine.
I know.
Mr. Albert, I tell you, when you see the big man, you see the big man come on your program. Just end the program there. This is a time to try check.
Yes.
And to respect what they heard.
Yes.
Oh my God. PM, we have the best Prime Minister in the world. And God has blessed us. And some of us is very ungrateful. Man, we're saying they are going 40%. PM, see me on the margin of young again.
I know it is.
I'm not young again. PM, when you want to my name, PM, not you.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm saying? No, I am not ready to put closer to the cemetery.
He wasn't there at the time.
I was vexed off in this side, but I was always vexed when I said that when I listen to the budget.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is one of the best budgets. Everybody have a piece of the pie.
That's right.
Okay, and Mr. Albert,
Yes.
when you see here the Prime Minister talk, this is not about leadership. Just listen to his voice. His passion for the people, the love for country.
Yes.
Mr. Albert, time is short, so somebody was with him.
Indeed.
You have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you again. Yes, thank you for your call here tonight as we approach the 11 o'clock hour there. But Carissa, the Prime Minister, again, continue to deliver, articulate, loud and clear, the policies of the Labour Party, how each and every sector of this economy has been impacted by the policies of the Labour Party. no careless or worthless business going on there. No diabasak, if you're going to build a road, he give you a road. He do it
Very
properly.
transparent.
I mean, whatever has to be done to deliver it, he's doing it. And as I tell some people who tell me, Simeon, we need this, I say, everything can be done one time. Because this land of ours there is easy to develop. I mean, you know the number of bridges the Prime Minister have to be built sometimes to do one piece of road going into an area. And so look at the airport we built it. I mean, we don't have flat land, and yet still we make it land.
Simeon, before the Prime Minister made the presentation, especially when he spoke about economic growth,
Yes.
I mean, there were people out there who were shouting and raging, hey, the economy is in decline. The
Yes.
economy is shambled. This is the worst economy the government has ever seen in the
Right.
history of Dominica, and people were talking all kind of things about the economy. When the Prime Minister presented the figures, the
Yeah.
numbers, since he presented the figure, everybody mouth shut
They've gone quiet.
on economy.
Yeah.
Nobody talking about economic growth anymore.
Right.
Because that used to be a central theme for the other side. The economy is in decline, and and all the time they were doing it, and we were talking about it on the program.
Yeah.
They were not quoting any source whatsoever.
Never
They
quoted
were
anything.
just saying things out of their head, and they believe that it's in decline. The Prime Minister was able to quote his source.
Yes.
He said, go and check the data from the World Bank. And the World Bank, of course, we know is a very credible source
Yes.
for information.
They do their
So,
work, yes.
I am taking note that since after the Prime Minister made the presentation and quoted the figures, especially the last 4 years where we were able to register an average of 6%,
Yes.
absolutely nobody on the other side has ever come out
Yeah.
and dispute those figures.
No, I've not heard them.
None.
I've not heard them at all challenge
None.
these numbers.
They never
Yeah,
challenge these
yeah.
figures.
So they can challenge it. I mean, everything that the Prime Minister spoke about is there for people to see. There's a lady who is not able to see, but she told me she can hear.
Yes.
And she know that things are happening. So the blind may not be able to see, but the blind can also hear and feel, and everybody is getting an understanding of where Dominica is going. As the Prime Minister also alluded tonight, that we are not there yet.
That's right.
Because we have to see all of these important life-changing projects come on stream for this piece of land, because without international airport, we'll still be talking about an international airport. And as the Prime Minister said, we have one chance at it. This is our best chance in the history of Dominica to get an airport that will
Yes.
be outstanding like every other island that we will travel to. And so all of what we have to continue to do as citizens is to pray that God will guide and protect this land and protect our leader, and guide us through successful implementation of all of those policies, so that the citizenry and there are opportunities, Carissa. There are opportunities, and that is one of the things the budget does. It creates opportunities for persons of various skills within various segment of the economy. I mean, whether it's in the health sector or agricultural sector or education sector, there are the construction sector, you just name it. There are opportunities that this budget is offering, and it is the people now who has to train themselves. This is one of the things I always encourage people to do. Become a profession. One of the things I usually ask people is, what are you good at doing? When somebody tells me, if I meet somebody who, I say, what are you good at doing? And then they say, but I can do anything. I say, no, you have to become a professional in something and train yourself to become that person. Once you become that person, then you don't have a problem in creating employment for yourself, or even employment for somebody else. And Labour Party over the years, with its policies, and one of the things the Prime Minister spoke about is the Labour Party manifesto. The fact that Labour has presented a manifesto at all of its elections, and if you go through the manifesto, starting from the day Prime Minister Skerrit started presenting his manifesto, you will see that throughout the 5 years of the Labour Party in power, that the Labour Party has been delivering based on the promises and the commitment given to the people.
That's right.
And that is something that is consistent. And that's probably reasons why some of the opponents them think that election, they used to even call election before election is ready. Because the kind of infrastructure work they see going on in the country, they think that even 2 years into our campaign in power, that there's going to be an election, not realizing that Labour is working, and that's why Labour is in power, and that's why the people continue to elect Labour Party, because Labour is always the best choice, and Labour is delivering in a way that no other political party or political leader in this country has been able to do. And that is why we have to continue to make sure that we ourselves play our role and put our contribution into developing this country, because Dominica has never been an easy piece of land to develop. That is why many of the things I keep saying we are doing today are being done today, and they didn't tackle it before because other leaders was afraid to tackle those things. And raising money is never an easy thing. It's always a difficult thing to raise money when you are going to do projects. If you're going to get grant financing, or even if you had the CBI program itself, you have to go out and raise the money. Having the CBI by itself doesn't mean the money is in the bank, You have to go out there, you have to find investors, you have to encourage them to invest in the country, because there are many other islands that have their programs as well that you are competing with. And so you have to be skillful and have very skillful and professional people out there who can assist in making that possible. Carissa, your closing remarks as well.
My brother, I think we had an excellent program. I really want to thank the PM for another masterful presentation. And of course, Simeon, you being a very brilliant interviewer, and PM being an excellent interviewee, and Carissa being a very good observer. But I think tonight was a wonderful night. Of course, enough food for thought, and I hope that our people can take advantage of all the opportunities that this budget is creating for the citizenship. I want to thank the many listeners who remained with us for the evening.
Yes.
And Simeon, I don't know, but my hope is, especially this program, we can find some time during the week to have a replay. I think the information that the PM presented here tonight
needs to be repeated.
It should be repeated some way, somehow. But thank you very much, and of course, thank to everybody who remained with us up to this point.
Yeah, and we, of course, to our Facebook fans, we apologize for those of you who could not view us, but we want to still thank the tech man with all the challenges they've had to be able to put us online. And I saw that several of the viewers were able to log in and to be able to get the program, and this discussion, no doubt, will continue. Carissa, I believe Comrade Clarence will be back this week. I spoke to him today. I will be traveling on Friday because I have to go to Guadeloupe. I'll visit my mom in Guadeloupe, and I'm bringing my son to visit his grandmother. So I'll be out for a couple of days. We'll be back on Wednesday. So Saturday and Tuesday, Comrade Clarence will be back here with you. And, of course, one of our comrades will sit in to keep the program, the discussion going. And to the listeners, I will be out for just a few days. But indeed, I think this budget has a lot in it that we have to continue to dissect,
That's right.
continue to discuss, and to really help people to better understand how they are directly and indirectly benefiting from what the policies and direction of this government. So again, thank you, PM. Thank you for your time, and thank you for really gracing us with your presence here tonight. And we want to really continue to ask God to bless you and your family as you continue to do the work that you are doing for the development and for the betterment of the citizens of this country. You know, there will be a day when many people will sit down and reflect and realize, all those who are criticizing you will sit down and realize, that there was something about you that was special that they didn't realize. But I don't see some things come with time. So thank you again for the work, and we want to thank God for all the cabinet colleagues and all those who are playing a part in making sure all of that is possible. Good night to you all, folks. We got to make our way out of here. It's already 5 minutes after 11 o'clock, and the discussion, as I said, will continue on Saturday right here on The Next Level. Of course, Kelly the Ghost will be on tomorrow, Wednesday night, and you can look forward to joining him there. In the meantime, we say to you, if you are not on the labor train, then you better get on board, because there is absolutely no other train that you can ride on and be safe. You are safer on the labor train. So good night and God bless you. I leave you with this song, Everybody on the Labor Train.
All aboard! Where my people at? Okay. Are you ready? Ready. Here we go. Wait for me. Get them. Queen's carriage ring the bell and we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Captain ordained by God and we ready. Ready to vote back the LP. A driver everybody could trust. A driver religious men endorse. So make sure your vote is counted. Labour Party is bound to succeed. Hey. Everybody poinche on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. A train for progress, fairness and success. The train is passing through. Love and humility in every community. The train is passing through. Everybody poinche on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing.
Don't leave me down, I want to be there. Plenty red in the atmosphere. You ready? Put your hands in the air. Ready and ready and ready and ready to do it again. In the sun or under the rain. Everyone on the Labour train. Ready and ready and ready and wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Shout it out if you on the train. Whoa. Wave your hand if you on the train. Jump around if you on the train. Everyone on the Labour train, yeah.
Great leadership is everything. So we ready to vote Scarrow and the party. We don't want that bogus driver to get in. So we ready to vote Scarrow and the party. To eradicate poverty. We take education seriously. We taking care of the poor and the needy. Cause they are part of the family. Hey. Everybody poinche on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Cottage and Postman poinche. Bush and Fakers bash it. The train is passing through. Wesley and Marigot Fuawi, also the Carib territory. The train is passing through. Everybody poinche on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing. Everybody ready? We ready. Don't move. People on the train. Get up. Coming through. Make way. Ready. Ready. Labour cut over and therefore we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Roseau Central, Roseau North and South ready. Ready to vote back the LP. We going to transform Posse and Roseau. And we want the whole world to know. Coming from the struggle that we undergo. No Pakalaje PM Scarrow, no. Everybody poinche on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can see Bruce and La Plaine. Grand for on board, no complaint. The train is passing through. We did Saban and Grand Bay. La Puerta and Squad said okay. The train is passing through. Everybody poinche on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train.